Welcome back to another episode of Rob Sports Center. Man, as you can see by the title and by the thumbnail, today we finna be breaking down some film on OBJ. I'm gonna just start off with saying, man, in my opinion, OBJ is one of the most complete receivers that you can ask for. This dude can run any route there is on the route tree. He's an explosive player. He's one of those guys that can take a simple 1-yard slant to the house, a simple 5-yard hitch to the house. He's just an explosive player down the field, and he's an explosive player underneath. And let's not talk about his ball skills, man. This dude has some of the best hands I have ever seen. When you watch Odell, just notice how a lot of his catches are with his hands. I mean, obviously, in certain situations, he's going to utilize the body, but for the most part, he makes catches with his hands. I mean, we all seen the kickoff catch he made one-handed in LSU. You know what I mean? So that just shows you the ball skills that he has on top of having some enormous hands. So you put that combination together, you get him. But we ain't going to talk too much. We're going to get straight into this. So, man, the very first play, you know, one of the things I always talk about is red area, and I always talk about gotta have a situation. So right here, you gotta have a situation. You got OBJ matched up on the outside with number 0. It looked like this was a one-on-one matchup to the boundary, which is the short side of the field side. So if the ball was on the left hash, then the field side would be to the right side, and the boundary would be the left side where the ball's on the hash. So obviously it's a shorter field, and they're gonna put more defenders on the opposite side, obviously because you're gonna have more room to maneuver, and more times you're gonna have more receivers over there. So they get a one-on-one matchup on the outside with number 0, and obviously OBJ just takes full advantage of that. I'm assuming that the corner tried to get up at the line of scrimmage and get physical with him. Notice how OBJ just constantly using his hands to fight. And it's so crazy that I'm breaking down this because Michael Irvin was talking about that with young receivers, how they just focus so much on moving that they don't use their hands for anything other than catching, when as a receiver, you have to have active hands, especially in the when there's one-on-one situations against corners that's trying to press. Your job is almost similar to a defensive lineman as a receiver. You know, you're going up against DBs. Their jobs are almost like offensive lines to get their hands on you to try to slow you down. As a receiver, you got to be able to hand fight and knock their hands off you, just like OBJ does right here. And then once again, man, obviously this was a perfect thrown ball. You had the safety number 25 that was trying to get over there, but Lamar Jackson did a good job at just leading it to the sideline and kind of putting it on OBJ's outside shoulder, left shoulder, and he just does a phenomenal job at tracking the ball and securing the catch for third down completion. So right here, once again, we got Odell matched up on the outside. He's matched up on the boundary. That's the short side of the field, just like the previous one. And what did I say in the previous clip? I was like, Odell is one of those plays that can take a simple 1-yard slant, 3-yard slant, and take it the length of the field for a touchdown. Now, he don't get a touchdown, but he does take this the length of the field. So it looked like Tennessee probably was in some type of a form of cover 2 or 2-high safety. You look at the pre-snap, it was single high, and then at the post-snap, the safety bailed. So it makes me think that they were cover 2, and being that they were playing so deep, it's hard for me to really think that it was cover 4. But then again, it possibly could have been because I'm looking underneath it. It looks like you're seeing what no, I don't know. It might have possibly been cover 2, but OBJ just did a good job at honestly just winning that route off the line of scrimmage right there. The corner just gave him a free release. He didn't slow him down. He kind of just sat in that little soft space right there. Lamar Jackson got the ball to him, and he was just able to make yards after the catch. Now, like I say, when we talk about playmakers, we talk about guys like, what can you do on your own? So what can you do once the ball is in your hands, right? That's what we talk about. Do you go straight to the ground, or do you fight for every extra yardage once you catch the ball? And OBJ, we obviously know that he has that level of explosiveness to be able to blow the top off of a defense vertically, but then he also has that level of explosiveness to be able to stretch a defense horizontally, like on slants, drags, and things of that nature. All right, so right here we got two of my favorite situations. We got red area and we got third down. We got a gotta have it. So, okay, this is going to be a teaching moment for my young receivers, right? I want y'all to notice something. Notice how when Odell is making his moves, right, when he's coming off the line of scrimmage, he's actually moving. He's not just sitting still and just making moves sideline, just moving side to side. He's actually coming off the ball as he's making his move. So you look at him, he does the Davante Adams hop step. I feel like Davante Adams is one of the guys who kind of made that. I wouldn't say innovated it. I wouldn't say he invented it, and I probably wouldn't even say he innovated, because I'm pretty sure it was guys that came before him that was. But I would probably say, like, to the younger generation, he's the guy that kind of popularized it. So he comes off the line, he does a hot step, kind of like the little hop step off the line of scrimmage. Number 27 didn't really get as physical with him. Right there, you see he tried to get his hands on him a tad bit. Odell did a pretty good job at being able to kind of knock his hands down. And honestly, if you really want to ask me, I think that overall this was as good of coverage as you could have asked for, because when you look at number 27, notice how he's kind of trying to funnel him in towards Jamal Adams, right? Right there, boom. That's where his help is head on the inside, right? So eventually Odell kind of just hit him with the Hakeem Olajuwon shimmy shake. We're going to take another look at it. Hit him with the little shimmy shake, boom, and tried to create a little bit of separation, which he did. He created a pretty decent amount of separation, and the quarterback just did a good job at kind of throwing with anticipation and kind of just believing that Odell was going to be there, and that ball really came out quick before number 27 could even get his head around to locate it. Man, listen, I don't care what nobody say. OBJ can still play in the National Football League, man. So once again, man, I got to always take time to try to give out a teaching lesson whenever I see something that I think can help the young bulls. So once again, man, what is one of the things we always talk about when we're watching these young receivers doing these drills on Instagram and Facebook? It looks good, all the little fancy stuff that they're doing, but does that translate to the field? No, and I'm going to tell you why, because you have to understand. On the field situation, when you have 4 linemen rushing your quarterback and blitz is coming, you don't have all that time. If you are not open when that quarterback looks your way, that ball is going elsewhere. So what I mean by that, have a sense of urgency when you're coming off the line of scrimmage. If you're going to make your moves, do that, but make sure you're getting vertical while you do it. Just watch OBJ right there. Boom. Right? You see him making his move. He kind of hitting him with the shimmy step. I mean, the shimmy shake. I forgot exactly what it's called. I was looking at it the other day, but he's hitting him with the shimmy shake, right? He's attacking the outside shoulder because he's trying to go inside. So when he hit him with the shimmy shake and attacked the outside shoulder, you look at he slightly opened up the defensive back's hips because he was thinking that OBJ was probably going to try to do something vertically down the field, but he ended up cutting it in for a slant. And once again, watch also too, what did he use his hands for other than catching on that play? We're going to go back and look at it again. What did he use his hands for? Right? To knock the corners. Boom. Right there. To knock the corner's hands. Attack the outside shoulder. When the corners try to get a hand on you, knock the corner's hand and get into your route. And once again, he did exactly what I said. And I promise you, I did not watch this video prior to. He took a simple 3-yard slant the length of the field for a touchdown. Once again, man, you got Odell lined up in the slot. And what's the route again? A slant, man. Like I say, man, when you got a guy like Odell, that's your whole objective, is to get the ball in his hands and allow for him to do OBJ things, and that's run after the catch, make guys miss, and create those opportunities for explosive plays. So right here, once again, just kind of notice how he attacks the corner, man. Odell route run. Like I say, man, this dude is, to me, Odell is still like that, bro. Like, you can't tell me otherwise. This dude is really still like that, man. Like, this is by far one of my favorite receivers that I have ever watched play. Just look at him. When he hit him with the move, the shimmy shake. You see how he was kind of stemming? So if you look at the route, it was almost like he was kind of stemming as if he was going to go outside, right? Inside, I mean. So he kind of go in, and so he gets the corner leaning. So once he gets the corner leaning, he kind of hits him once again with a little shimmy shake, kind of going inside, but then now attacking the outside shoulder with the fake. The corner kind of jumps over. He just cuts it in for a slant. Lamar Jackson does a good job at putting the ball right there on the numbers for him, putting it right behind that linebacker, right there on the numbers, and allowing for him to be able to run after the catch. And I think this was a gotta-have-it situation, too. This was a 3rd down. And like I always tell y'all, who are they going to in those gotta-have-it situations, in those 3rd down situations? Who are you going to? And look at who they going to, OBJ. So right here, man, once again, OBJ doing OBJ things, man. So you're looking at the situation. Time is running down. I think it's like, maybe 40-some seconds left on the clock. Baltimore's trying to go down and put up some points before going into the half. So obviously, situational-wise, Cincinnati is playing off just because they don't want to try to give up anything deep. They're saying pretty much, we're going to play our coverage. We're going to play deep. And if we can't get to the quarterback, I'm not going to say we're going to allow y'all to catch the ball. But when y'all catch the ball underneath, we're going to rally to the ball and make a tackle for a minimum gain, opposed to allowing guys like OBJ or maybe Zay Flowers to blow the top off of defense for a 40, 30-some yard touchdown bomb. But OBJ just runs a simple out route. They get the ball to him, put it to him right in numbers, allowing him to be able to catch and get set and try to make a guy miss. And that's exactly what he did to the corner right here. He just pretty much stiff armed him. Let's take another look at it. Boom, catch it, get up, give a move, boom, stiff arm. And then I like how he used his momentum. So if you notice that when he stiff armed, he stiff armed him with the left hand because it almost was like a stiff arm spin. So watch, boom, use that momentum to kind of push him and get, to create that level of separation. And then even though I know he went out of bounds, but once again, just like I said, man, just look at the ability to start and stop. Like, watch this, stop on a dime. Bam. Like, I'm telling you, OBJ is that dude, man. All right, so right here you got another one-on-one matchup on the outside with OBJ matched up against number 20. Honestly, number 20 did as good of a job as you could holding this initially. I think that maybe the pass rush might have got up to Lamar Jackson, which led to him rolling out the pocket. But OBJ just did a good job at being able to get his eyes into the backfield and realize that Lamar Jackson was in a scramble drill and try to figure out a way to reroute itself and give Lamar Jackson a target to throw to. But once again, it just shows the high IQ and the high play recognition for him to be able to turn back around and identify, like, because immediately, right, he run a slant here, boom, Lamar Jackson roll out, and immediately he makes it almost seems as if that was a normal route. Now you do see right here, he kind of gives the DB a little assistance with being able to come to try to create the separation. It wasn't a lot, but he did utilize a little assistance to be able to kind of get the corner to try to get that level of separation. So you look right here, he got that kind of hand fighting too. Once again, like I said, though, what receivers need to do? Not just use their hands for catching the ball, but being able to try to hand fight and get the DB's hands up off of him. So once he makes the catch for one, let's go back and look at the little small slight alteration of him right there. You see him hand fighting, boom, he catches the pass. Once again, that's a beautiful thrown ball by Lamar because it allows for him to catch it, run underneath it, and to be able to create yards after the catch, which OBJ is phenomenal at. And he just does a good job at really just stopping on a dime and being able to redirect to try to be able to eat up a little bit more yardage. So watch this. He catch it, boom, bam. Watch him, bam. Be able to stop on a dime and change direction. That's something that a lot of players in the NFL cannot do. So right here on this play, you got OBJ lined up on the outside. So this time he's lined up to the field side. Normally we've seen him lined up to the boundary, and that's the smallest side of the field. But now he's lined up on the field side, which is the biggest side of the field. So this route right here, I'm not quite sure if this was a design double move. Because if it wasn't, it most definitely looks like one. But when you look right here, the corner tried to jump the ball, right? He tried to jump it for an interception. And just like the commentator said, that if you're going to do that, you need to make sure that you have help over the top. And it looks like LA might have possibly been in a single high. So obviously, as the safety, his duty is to try to stay over the top of everything. So you got to think about it. If I jump this and it doesn't pay off, I'm leaving him out to dry. And that's exactly what happened. But like I said, man, he just did a good job at making that look like a double move. If it wasn't a double move, I think that what it kind of was that once he jumped the route right here, once he jumped it, boom, Odell just was like, okay, now, and he's seen Lamar. I'm pretty sure Lamar might have rolled out on the pocket to be able to try to give himself a little bit more time. And once again, OBJ just did a good job at kind of improvising, and then just phenomenal ball skills, man. Just look at him. He starts right there. Then he turns all the way around. Look at that, and still was able to make the catch with being inbounds, man. Like I said, once again, man, just phenomenal route running and just phenomenal phenomenal concentration, phenomenal ball skills to be able to track that ball and turning left, right, and pretty much turning a whole circle and still being able to make that catch. So right here, once again, you got OBJ lined up on the boundary side. That's the short side of the field. And he just really does a good job at just being able to split both defenders with that slanting go. And like I say, just look at the perfection in the route, man. Just look at it right here. Boom. And then the thing is, like I say, he sold it because once you look at the slant, once he made the break for the slant, it's not like he made the break for the slant and made the break, boom, and then boom, and took it back up the field. He actually, boom, went into the route a few times. So it's almost, if you really want to be honest, like look at how he ran this. So to how he ran it, and I'm pretty sure this is the textbook fundamentally way to run it, he ran it as if it really was just two slants, right? So you look at the first one. The first one was probably a three-step slant, right? Then you look at the second one. It was almost another three-yard slant, but opposed to going across the middle. Well, actually, that was a little deeper. That might have been about 5 yards. It kind of might have been an out route, but based looking at how he ran it, it wasn't necessarily a straight line and then break out and then cut back up. It was like kind of at an angle, boom, and then boom. So when he made the second move, it was almost pretty much like he was running another slant, but opposed to breaking inside, this time he broke outside. Let's take another look at that. Watch him. Boom. 1, 2, 3, boom, third leg, third step, he pushing up the field. And once again, man, he just does a good job at being able to locate the ball and being able to come up with the catch for a touchdown. Like I say, man, this dude ball skills is phenomenal, man. Just look at him having to turn all the way around, man, just to be able to locate this. I don't think y'all understand how hard that is to do in shoulder pads and a helmet. So like I said, man, OBJ is like a human highlight reel, man. It's like this dude just it's just like any given play, he's prone to make just an extravagant play, whether that be a catch or whether that be what he does after he catch the ball. So right here, the corner played this as perfect as you can play. You see Odell is matched up against him in the slot. He didn't really fall for any Odell moves. I thought that he was going to be able to possibly separate him, being that he was just kind of pretty much running a vertical, a go ball. But the corner did a good job at really just being able to kind of stay over the top of him and try to funnel him towards the out of bounds line. But once again, man, obviously, when you're dealing with OBJ, all it takes is just an opportunity and a play can be made. Now, I would say, too, just check out the throw on the run from Lamar Jackson. Right, just look at him being able to throw that off balance, because he never even had a chance to even set a foot. Like, let's take another look at that. He did a phenomenal job with just throwing that off balance. Like, man, just look at that. And it came out pretty quick. And once again, OBJ just did a good job at being able to track the ball once again, but this time with a corner draped all over the top of him, man, and was still able to make the catch, secure the catch, get both feet inbound, and put his team in a good position in the red area to try to score some points. All right, so, man, for the final play, we can't end it no better. We gotta have a situation. You got a 4th and 3, looking at the field position and exactly where Baltimore is at. If you don't get this is solidified. This solidifies that this is a loss. But they was able to pick up the conversion. But once again, who's been the story of breaking down film? Who's been that go-to guy? 3rd down, 4th down, red area for the Baltimore Ravens that year. That was Odell. I'm pretty sure the stats didn't replicate it because it probably wasn't off the chart stats. But whenever his number was called, more times than not, he was able to come in the clutch. So right here, man, he just pretty much runs. They sent him in motion, and it almost looks like he was about to run a drag, to where if it would have been in man, he would have just kept going and would have just ran away from the defender. But you see where the defender is at with the yellow cleats and the yellow gloves. He's sitting right there, so you can tell that it's a zone. So what OBJ does is what? This is what I always talk about, high IQ moments, being able to just find that soft spot, that spot right there, and just sit down and get an easy catch. Now, if he drags that route all the way across the field, now he takes himself out of position to be able to get a completion, or to be able to, make the Chiefs pay for the defensive formation that they was in. But by him having understanding, okay, I see Reed is coming down toward in the box as if he's finna rush or try to maybe catch the running back out the backfield. And I see right here that yellow gloves and yellow cleats is just sitting right there. So if I keep running, I run into him. If I stop, I give Lamar Jackson a target, and that's exactly what they did. Lamar Jackson did a good job at recognizing it, putting the ball right there on the money. Odell just did a good job at obviously securing the catch and being able to move the sticks and allowing them to live, for another possession to possibly be able to put up some points and, to be able to try to see if they can possibly take a lead in the game. But, man, as you guys can see, that is it for this video. Once again, man, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, is that I do believe, in my honest opinion, based off of what I've seen, I get it that this video right here is a year old, because this was from when he was with the Ravens. And obviously, we know the most recent team was the Dolphins, which I will be breaking down film on that. But I do still think that Odell can play and that he's at elite level. If you ask me, I wouldn't say prime, but I do believe that he's at elite level. And one of the things, too, that you have to take in consideration is the experience that he has. And on top of that, the IQ. Right, we seen the play where he rerouted himself almost immediately when Lamar Jackson got out the pocket. We see right here where he knew to sit down in that soft spot right there in order to be able to get the 1st down conversion. Right, so those are things that younger receivers may not know at this point consistently, especially in high pressure situations such as this one right here. So you bring that veteran presence, and you bring him to be able to mentor the up and coming receiver. So I think that it's a win-win, and he's probably not going to require a lot of money either. He turns 33 in June, in November, but I still think that he has some good years left in front of him. If you ask me, if he can stay healthy, that's the main thing. But, man, if you guys did enjoy this video, do me a big favor, man. Smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And when you subscribe, make sure that you got that notification bell turned on. That way you be notified every time I upload. And I'll see y'all in the next video.